So you have Moeen Ali, who will be bowling to the likes of Dhawan, Vijay, Rahane, Rohit, Kohli, and obviously Pujara. They're excellent players of spin. How do you rate Moeen Ali's chances against spin players of this quality on pitches that are not going to spin a lot?
I was listening to Michael Vaughan last night on BBC, and he was saying that the likes of Rahane, the players you mentioned there, could play Moeen Ali with their eyes shut, and they'll probably get runs. I don't often disagree with Michael. He's spot on.
Yeah,
he might have a little bit of success against Shikhar Dhawan, perhaps, right. But England will hope that he won't be bowling at Dhawan because they'll have got him out early enough for the short stuff. Right. So he's not a specialist spinner.
Right.
He's a tidy, occasional part-timer, but he's not somebody at this stage in his career that Alistair Cook can confidently say, right, the game's a bit dead here, tie up an end so Broady and Anderson can have a rest and come back in 20 minutes really firing. He's working on his game. He's apparently working with Syed Ajmal to develop a doosra, which I think he tried in one of the tests in Sri Lanka, and it was a disaster. But if you don't try, you don't succeed, I suppose.
Absolutely.
So he's not. I mean, unfortunately, he gets in the team as a batsman.
Right.
But he's not.
It's an interesting stage because earlier, I mean, there was a lot of pressure on the three seamers for India to get the wickets overseas, and that pressure could now be shifting to England because you look at somebody like a Stuart Broad and James Anderson, who will not be getting too much rest because the next line of bowlers might not be wicket-taking bowlers, and as the game just goes away. And that was an interesting point that Stuart Broad brought up because he said that because he was bowling longer spells in Headingley and they were not very effective when Sri Lanka won the Test match, and Angelo Matthews just ran away with the Test. So that's a very valid question. Who is England's second line of attack once Anderson and Broad are out of the question?
Liam Plunkett. It should be, because that's what the role he's been given up at Yorkshire under Jason Gillespie, is just to bowl fast. Bowl fast, make it uncomfortable for the batsman. He's the second line, so once you've had Anderson and Broad, then you've got Plunkett. Chris Jordan's in the squad, whether they go with Chris Jordan and Ben Stokes in the same team. Ben Stokes, I say, he's got good pace. He's got a bit about him, so that's your second line, but it's not a second line that inspires the same sort of confidence that England had maybe in Australia a few years ago. Stephen Finn, Chris Tremlett, Tim Bresnan. Tim Bresnan, I haven't mentioned him yet. He should be due a recall at some point. He's a useful sort of second line of attack, but he's not when you remember the England side that did do so well before the team that got to number one. You had sort of Hoggard, Harmison, Flintoff, Simon Jones. That was a four-pronged attack to really be feared. Now, Anderson and Broad, if they get it right for a 20-over spell, yes, they could almost bowl India out once or twice on their own. But they're not going to do it every 5 tests. So your Liam Plunkett's, your Chris Jordans, your Ben Stokes, your Tim Bresnan, and Stephen Finn, if he can get back into the team, he's got to go away for Middlesex and probably take a lot of wickets. That's the second line of attack, but it doesn't instill the same sort of confidence that we've had over the last few years.
Well, England have been talking a lot about rotating bowlers over the next 5 Test matches. So we'll probably see Tim Bresnan into the attack at some point, because he already also had some fair bit of success against India in 2011. But again, the talk obviously has been that Ben Stokes, he's been brought into the squad after injury. He's come back from injury. Chris Jordan he's been exciting talent, all-round talent. So you have 2 all-rounders in Stokes and Jordan who could mix things up along with Liam Plunkett.
I'm not sure I'd say Jordan's an international all-rounder just yet. He's a very good bowler who can bat a bit.
Okay.
But I wasn't so impressed with his batting against Sri Lanka. And yes, he's come in at the tail end of a few ODIs and 2020s and smacked a quick 30 in 20 balls. That's not really what we need in a Test match. So Ben Stokes obviously has a Test century, has a Test fifer, but he's the all-rounder that I don't want to say he's the new Flintoff, but inevitably people are going to say that because since Flintoff retired, England have always been, who's the all-round option? Even if Andrew Strauss and Andrew Flower would say, actually, we've got the stats to prove that playing with 5 bowlers doesn't win you as many Tests as playing with 4 specialists. So it may be that they go down the road of Stokes plays, but Jordan misses out. So we'll just wait and see.
Right, I think Stokes is going to be an interesting option because, like you said, he has that little bit of extra pace, and Indian batsmen, again, always there's been this standing theory that the Indian batsman might be a little bit susceptible, like I said earlier on, a bit of short bowling and a little bit of bounce. You never get, even if they do well, even if they score runs, there's always this standing theory.